Well, they would call us, but you would not quite know. You know, they could be booked through the secretary or this and that. The VIPs have a way of operating without putting themselves out in the front. It's when you get there, you get to meet them. I've had a chance to meet former Prime Minister Raila. That was a very good experience also because we were cleaning some of his offices at Capital Center. One of my mentors is Dr. Manu Chandaria. He's been very, very supportive. He was very impressed when he saw our services. I used to always want to clean the White House in the US, which I didn't quite make it, but I made it to State House, Nairobi, which was something for our profile, and it was quite exciting to get there. I got to clean Whitney Houston's travel bus. That was also something else, you know. I also met during the Iraqi war, we had a four-star general, Brigadier McCurphy. And I remember we used to also go there and clean his home and stuff. We say no job's too small. If you call us to Lavington, we will show up. If you call us to Dandora or Ziwani, we will show up. We don't turn down work.
Another beautiful week to catch up on yet another story of hope by an ordinary Kenyan who is pointing us to the steps on the stairs that preceded the landmarks of success that he now celebrates. This week's episode is part 2 of the fascinating story of Robert Okubo, who for more than 2 decades now has been turning dirt into gold, one room at a time, one continent at a time. And while in the last episode we tracked his humble beginnings among common households, today his moves in the corporate space become manifest.
To effectively penetrate Kenya, I had to make sure I had to break it down very simple, and I had to make sure I had very low rates to get into their doors. So it was not easy. I came back solo with a machine. This machine must weigh about 70 kgs. I was shocked to find we had 5-story buildings with no elevators in them. So I had to pull that machine. If somebody called me and said, yeah, come to Kilelesha, I'm in this apartment, I would find I'd have to wheel up that machine on my own, you know, and then get up there and I'd be gasping for air and then get to work. The good part about it is I wanted to try it on my own first before I engaged anybody or employed anybody. I did that for about a month, and I realized people were being receptive to the idea. My business started with this residential customer, which we are very, very grateful for. They're actually the backbone to the company. And then once we stabilized with that, we were happy to move and start dealing with the corporates. Because remember, those very corporate people do have residential homes. So if you're doing a good job in their homes, they're definitely going to talk about you in the offices, and that's where we are. Yes, yeah.
And I'm sure this your job has taken you quite around.
Yes, it has.
And you've met quite some people.
Yes, I met quite some people actually. When I came back the second time, I met a very lovely lady who happens to be the mother of my lovely children today, and we work on the same team. So it's actually my wife, and that was one of the blessings I think I had, because we've been together about 9 years, and as we joined each other, she learned the business and learned it well. So I always tell people we are a family-run business, because when I'm not in Nairobi, she's running the show. Yes.
I'm Zaro, or my family names are called Zaretun Gulam, or people know me as Mrs. Roberts. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So tell me, what does 200 degrees mean to you? What has it been like for you?
Oh, well, 200 degrees has really opened my eyes. I never thought I'll get to meet different people, different cultures, so I'm grateful for that. And I can say it's an eye-opener, for sure.
Did you ever have previous orientation to business, or this was it?
Well, I used to do an IT. I was mainly just at home, and I'll just do a few things there, and it's still when Robert decided, hey, you need to come out of the house and see what I've been doing out there. And I said, let me try and see where it got me.
And in partnering in the sweat, 200 Degrees has created magical moments and memories, as well as built its name in the corridors of influence.
Oh, I've met a lot of wonderful people and dealt with a lot of wonderful organizations. One of my mentors is Dr. Manu Chandaria. He's been very, very supportive. He was very impressed when he saw our services. He quickly started writing letters to other business associates and saying, hey, there's this guy who shows up personally. He's trained in the US and he takes his work very seriously. Kindly let us support him. I found that a very kind gesture.
And also my second experience was meeting Mr. Manu Chandaria and the wife. The wife was so loving to me, and I didn't expect that at all. I didn't expect it. You know, there are those people you only see on the sidelines. Mrs. Ariane met my daughter because at then I was pregnant. So she told me, when you come back, please make sure you bring your daughter. And I said, I did, I will. And so I did that, and I was quite happy because he was so happy to say, oh, she looks so pretty and she has long hair like mine. I was like, oh, the hair really matters here. Yeah, so I'm happy to meet her. It's quite something, yeah.
I've had a chance to meet former Prime Minister Raila. That was a very good experience also because we were cleaning some of his offices at Capital Center. I had a chance. I used to always want to clean the White House in the US, which I didn't quite make it, but I made it to State House, Nairobi, which was something for our profile, and it was quite exciting to get there.
I remember the first time I also went to State House, and I actually thought, okay, am I going to be allowed in or not? So it was quite something for me. I won't lie, I was so happy.
In the US, I got to meet Danny Glover. Danny Glover used to act with Mel Gibson. They did the movies Lethal Weapon. And then people from my generation may remember Good Times with JJ. We got to meet Thalma. Thalma was JJ's sister. That was also a client. I got to clean Whitney Houston's travel bus. That was also something else, you know. I also met during the Iraqi war, we had a four-star general, Brigadier McCurfie. And I remember we used to also go there and clean his home and stuff. So we bumped into a lot of interesting people. Marilyn Albright, I think she was the US First Secretary or something. We also got to clean for her. What was amazing is you didn't know who you were meeting until you actually got to their homes or their offices. Yes. Well, they would call us, but you would not quite know. You know, they could be booked through the secretary or this and that. The VIPs have a way of operating without putting themselves out in the front. It's when you get there, you get to meet them.
Okay, now with quite a list like what you now have just mentioned, do you still have a bucket list? Are there places that you still hope to still penetrate?
That's a good question. I think I'm looking towards retiring very soon. So I'm thinking of retiring in a place where I can have a boat, go fishing, just be somewhere peaceful. I've been working a long time, and I think at some point it's almost time now to hand over to the ones that are behind me. Yes, that's where my mind is.
Fine. Kibera slum. It's different and the biggest of its kind in Africa. With people drawn from different backgrounds, all united in their quest to beat the odds and change their lives. Amid a grinding poverty and neglect, theirs is a life driven by hope for survival, engineered by 3 Ps: patience, passion, and perseverance. Join us on Look Up TV as we shine a light on Kibera's untold stories.
Turn your 50 bob into a million shilling investment. Changamka and Shindagari Chap Chap with Hometel. There's millions in shillings worth of prizes to be won. Send your 50 bob to paybill number 4040153 and get a chance to win 20,000 shillings daily. And each week, one person gets a chance to walk away with a Mazda Demio and another a Beth Mobility motorbike. Remember, the more times you try, you could be the winner of a fantastic Toyota Prado. Do not be left out. Send 50 shillings to paybill number 4040153, account name Look Up TV, and get yourself a Hometel lucky number. Changamka and Shindagari Chap Chap with Hometel promotion. For more information, visit www.shindagari.co.ke. Terms and conditions apply.
Yes, we travel quite a bit. We travel away up to 5 days, depending on what we have on our itinerary. Like we just got back from Isiolo, Nyanyuki, Nyahururu, Nakuru, Eldoret. That was a 5-day trip. We were doing police stations, we were doing some work for the UN, we were doing some work for the banks, fumigation and cleaning. Yes.
So where we headed now?
Right now we got a call from the police, one of the police stations, Langata, and they were kindly requesting if we could go ahead and give them some fumigation. They've had a lot of traffic and inmates in and out. So just for their peace of mind, we said, yes, we'll be happy to do it for them. We don't charge them for it because I always believe I sleep peacefully. I travel about, going about my business peacefully because I have security. And they provide us very good security. So it's just a small token to give back to them. Yes. Yes, it is. This is a fumigation for COVID-19. Yes, sir. Yeah, definitely. It is definitely scary because I'll tell you, my fear every day is I hope I won't catch COVID. And my consolement is using the gun. I use a big gun that blows out so much treatment. I tend to console myself that it kills everything it comes into contact with. But so far, so good. We've not had any problems in our team. And we hope to keep it like that.
So we just arrived at Langata police station, and given the kind of traffic that happens here, yeah, we definitely had to put some extra precautionary measures as advised by Mr. Robert. Oh yes, we'll be here for quite some time for some serious fumigation into the cells and every chamber that we can be able to find as part of his CSR. You can't believe this. Follow us in. And clearly, when Mr. Robert gets on the ground, it's business as usual. Tell us how that thought process began and how you pursued it and how it's coming along.
Yeah. Well, again, I have to appreciate the media. I talk about the media when they were sharing with us what was going on in China and the possibilities of that spreading to our side of the world. I quickly started thinking of what equipment I could get on the ground in case this happened. And when I found out the equipment was available, I also do fumigation. I bought some high-end equipment and started researching on the disinfectants I could use in case this came to Kenya. So right around the time we had our first case, we already had equipment on the ground. And I said, look, I don't know who I'm going to approach to say, look, I want to help, but I'm going to go ahead and start helping on my own, knocking wherever I go to estates that are crowded. I'll ask caretakers or managers there if we can fumigate since we're in the area. And apparently that worked very well because you could see people were aware that we could be receiving corona anytime, but they're also happy to know that we were taking preventive measures. And that's how I extended by offering the same service to the police stations, because I figured at some point there were always a busy office round the clock.
We have the public health officers. You also come and do the same regularly. And when we get such good well-wishers, we appreciate them. They are most welcome.
Just briefly, your kind of engagement every day involves you fighting the seen enemy, right? Just fighting maybe with the thieves or the ones who break the law. How has it been for you now fighting the unseen enemy?
I'd say it's a bit difficulty because we, as police, we must arrest people daily. People must come to the police station and report here daily. And you know, you won't, though we take the basic measures, washing hands, taking temperatures, but you won't guarantee the condition of the people who are coming to the police station daily. So the actions done by 2000 Degrees is a very good initiative, and we appreciate them so much. Yeah.
Take me back to that moment when you told your family that you will be now on the front line just to fight COVID in your own special way. How was the reception? What did they think of you?
My wife thought I was crazy. She said, "You're kidding me." I said, "Are we going to sit here like dead ducks waiting to get hit? Or are we going to do something about it? I can't just sit and watch."
All right, so what are some of the mistakes you wish you could have avoided looking back at your journey?
I noticed when I was much younger, I didn't have much patience. My travel company, as much as I found out that there was an attack in Kenya and there was a travel ban, that shouldn't have been the end of it. There was still the domestic market I used to work with, and I think I would have still been able to take that to a different level. And I think I quickly walked away from that because I didn't have patience. Like, oh, all right, we have a travel ban, plan B. No, I should have taken my time and still worked it, or had, like I'm having somebody run the Kenyan branch now, I should have found somebody to run the travel company. So With this, you'll realize I've held on to 200 degrees for 20 years is because I've learned to have patience. When I came to Kenya, you have 364 days in a year. You need one customer every day for that year to keep busy. It's impossible to achieve the first year. If you don't have that patience, you won't hack it. I've been here 10 years. The first 3 years were very difficult because I was looking for that customer every day of the year for 364 days. And I think that's why they traditionally say, to get a business running and successful, give it 3 years. It's not going to be like buying a bag of sugar here and dropping it next door and making a quick kill. It takes time. So I think out of life, I learned that patience was very key. Very, very key.
Have you been able to introduce your kids to the business?
Yes, I have my daughter, Tracy and Mario, that have worked with the business. Tracy has just enrolled for nursing school. Mario is doing journalism. But they always know that they can fall back to this in case they wanted to earn some quick pocket change or something. Yes.
Do they ever join you?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Tracy quite a bit. She does a lot of administrative work, quotations and stuff. And when she's free, she joins us in the field and gets onto her hands. I'll be honest with you. I think if you want to run a successful business, you have to be able to be there to monitor. A lot of times, I've looked at companies that have CEOs sit in the background and wait to receive phone calls on how the figures are doing or how business is going. But you lose a lot when you're not there monitoring what's going on. It's also not easy to try to be everywhere at the same time. But I'll tell you, I wake up like everybody else. I might spend a couple of days in Nairobi visiting clients to let them know we're still available, I'm on the ground. And then I'll work here for about a month and take off to Mombasa again, go around, check on the clients, make sure everything's okay with the services and that. You find they appreciate it when the owner makes time to actually come out and see them. Because you don't want your client thinking you're too big for them now, you have secretaries, this and that, they can't reach you. I think it's always important for them to be able to reach you. So I try and work an 8 to 5 schedule, and it's rare that I go on holiday and stuff. So when vacation time comes around, that's what the time I really spend with family.
No opportunity is too small to be explored, and no opportunity is too big to miss. That has been my takeaway. Hope you also learned a thing or two in this episode. Go for your dreams with everything you have. Take the risks, dream big, be confident, and go for your goals. Till next time, this has been Captain Kago on Humble Beginnings, right here on Lookup TV.
We value your feedback and welcome your complaints about our programming and operations. Feel free to get in touch with us through 0700 893 542 or send us an email to views@look-up